Greetings, everybody. My name is the Reckonist. Welcome to Football Manager 2020. And Maldini Doesn't Tackle 424 is now available for download on the Steam Workshop and probably other websites as well. You have permission to post this wherever you want, by the way. I don't care. As long as the video goes with it, I don't mind at all. Okay, so what is this? So in 2015, I started to stream. Originally for a couple of times, just a couple of times. And then in that, I created a tactic with Newcastle, which was 424. And it was very, very successful. And as a result, it became one of the annual ones that I update every year with roughly the same philosophy and some tweaks to suit the new match engine, etc. And I've done it again this time, but this time, instead of having to spend like hundreds and hundreds of hours fixing one tactic, I basically had to plug in last year's tactic into the new match engine, make one or two little changes, and then just sort of unleashed it. And we've had silly results with Bournemouth on the streams and many other teams as well. I'll go through those teams and the results we're getting. But as you can see here, 30 games played in the Championship, 82 points, 0 losses, and 4 draws. All of those draws, by the way, we should have smashed them. We were just one of those FM'd type situations. And yeah, I'm just going to talk about the system and some game management techniques, and we'll talk about some other results as well. Okay, so here is the file I'll be uploading. As you can see, it is quite similar to last year's. In fact, it is almost identical. In fact, it might actually be identical. Yeah, the 2020 version of roles and everything. Okay, so this is 4-2-4, a system based on speed, not necessarily high work rate or technique, anything like that. The first thing to do is get the fastest players possible in each of these 4 positions here, or at least 3 of these positions. You could probably get away with a more creative or team-based passer type player there if you want to on that side or the other side, whichever. I recommend not changing any of the duties on these positions. So you can put anybody there that you want as long as they have a support. You can put anybody there as long anyone you want there as long as whatever role you give them is attack. I haven't tried target man attack, so if anyone wants to give that a go, I'd be very keen to see what happens there. But yeah, this is a 4-2-4 where we try and get in behind the defense first and foremost by passing into space and sort of running at the defense and challenging them. And then once we get into the final third, we'll take advantage of shorter passing around there, especially if a team is sitting back and not letting any space in behind, or the Manchester United problem, as we call it. So as if the team sits off and makes you play in front, you've got short passing there and a couple of creative players. All it takes is one really good piece of play and it will unlock any defense. So yeah, it's a 4-2-4. There is not much to say. Unfortunately, it does have counter press and counter, which I've tried very hard to do systems without that recently because I think it's a little bit too easy. However, it's realistic because if you counter and you're counter press, you're working very hard, and the harder you work, the more likely you are to create opportunities. So I've kind of made my peace with that. You'll notice as well, out of the 6 presets, the tempo I've set it as is number 5, which is slightly higher, giving space to go up to 6 if you need to, if you're really pushing for that other goal. And also for out of possession, more urgent. Again, the same reason. If you want to go to extremely urgent, you're going to have problems with fitness. After about 60 minutes of your game, you might see yourself start conceding more if you're too tired. So I've kept that at 5. It can be moved up to 6 if you're desperate for an equalizer or something like that. Same with the tempo. That's one of the game management strategies. If you're really desperate, move those tempo and the pressing up. You'll notice as well, the mentality set as cautious. I'm going to upload it as cautious because you'll still create chances here because we're trying to hit people on the break a lot. So we're sitting back just a little bit and playing a little bit more safer. But you'll still get chances because of, well, just the pace and the numbers up the front. So if you are struggling, again, and if you want to go ahead and try and score a goal, obviously moving up to positive is a good idea. Moving up to attacking is a good idea. And this year, clicking very attacking isn't suicide. So you could probably get away with that. But so I'm setting it as cautious as default. But obviously there is room to turn up the heat, as it were, or go into that extra gear. There you go. There's a cliche. There's a spare gear for United. There it is. Yeah, so cautious as default, but there are means for you to push for the last few minutes if you want that equalizer. All right, so nothing particularly interesting about the personnel. It's a wing-back there. It's a ball-playing defender there. someone who can create there. We got a workhorse there, but I have played it with another deep line playmaker. We tried it with a roaming playmaker, and in a certain situation, a Carrilero. If you want to see what that is, it would look like this. We got Brandon Williams on loan, so I made something to test out what the inverted wingback would look like. He's right-footed, and he'd get into these positions and actually score. So this guy goes out wide a bit, this guy cuts inside a bit, and then from the back, this guy cuts inside, and then we'll get a shot on target most of the time. Even though his finishing's like 6, he's scored like 3 in the 3 games we played with him, 4 games maybe. That's Brandon. That's a left back getting 3 out of 4. But yeah. So goalkeeper as well, distribution is long kicks just because we've got 2 guys up front, and having 2 guys up front means a direct ball is always a threat because there's the chance that if one of them gets a flick on, or there's a guy really close to him in support, possibly 2 as well. Yeah, these guys cutting inside. There is a standard overlap going on with the wing backs. It's nothing particularly special tactically. But I will stress again, these guys, at least 3 of these guys need to be rapid. They need to be these guys. Acceleration 18, pace 18. You kind of want that on all sides. You want somebody fast, and as Reece Nelson. I'd recommend, doesn't matter who you are, because this at any level you can get quick players. You can get acceleration 15 and pace 15 at a bare minimum. And after that, I think you'd focus on stamina. So it's not necessarily work rate and stamina focus like a gegenpress. It's more about a counter-attack or a fluid counter-attack or a direct counter-attack. So it's mainly pace on the wings and up front. Workhorse in the middle, as I say. I already mentioned that. Yeah, you can change any of these roles to whatever you want. If you fancy changing it to suit your personnel, or if you want to try something a little bit different, if you're feeling adventurous, just keep the duties exactly the same as they are. You can change any role. This could be inverted, complete wingback, fullback, any of those, but keep it as attack duty. Yep. Change the roles, keep the duty. I think that makes sense. There are some individual instructions, but you can click on there now. It's mainly taking advantage of our sort of physicality and pace by sticking close to somebody. If you stick close to somebody, you could probably catch them in a straight sprint. And that was the idea, at least. Maybe that doesn't actually make sense thinking about it. I don't know, but that's what we've got. We've done this. Shoot less often for the people who are going to shoot less often. Tackle harder. Mark specific position. It's one of my favorite things is getting the fullbacks to man mark. Getting our wingers to man mark their fullbacks. I did originally have these wingbacks marking the attacking midfielder left and attacking midfielder right spots, but they seem to get pulled over everywhere. And I was like, well, I don't know if this is this working or not. I can't quite tell. So I took it off, and we kind of saw a marked increase in the amount of chances we were letting happen. Reducing the chances we let happen. So I've taken that off, but obviously you can add that yourself. I'd also say if you are feeling particularly good, if you have a particularly good man marker, I'd get one of these to mark a single striker. So you go to you go to player, click on whoever's the best marker, and tell them to mark a specific position. Striker center, it means that there's probably only one striker. If there's only one striker, you want one to man mark the other one, and the other one to sort of cover up. So it's a little bit of advice. I think I've covered that. Mentality and changing the tempo. We've done that. My set pieces are on there. I have 3 for the throw-ins. But that's one of every kind. I don't know how this is going to be when it transfers over. So I've got a Gegen, a quick throw, a short throw, and a long throw. Long throws are good. They look good. Whether or not they're actually more effective than any of the other 2, I will let people with more time than me figure that out. But all the set pieces are done. I've even got some of my free kicks and corners on there. My favorite thing here, I'd like everyone to let me know how they work out with 2 strikers up front for a defending corner. And we put the pacey players there. Put a pacey player on the edge of the area, pacey player closed down, and 2 up front, just to see, because these guys are quicker, they can get up faster. That's basically the idea. I usually keep 1 up front, but I've put it as 2 as the default. Again, you could change these set pieces to whatever you want, but that's what I was using. Free kicks are done, set pieces, that's fine. And right, yeah, let's go and have a look at some other results, because as you can see, 0 games lost for us. That was fantastic. Let's have a look at the other ones. All right, so you join us at Hibernian. Hibernian, without any changes at all. I went on holiday on day 1. I've not even filled the staff positions. Didn't change anything. No personnel signed, nothing. I just set it as 4-2-4. I picked a rough first team and went on holiday with the 25th of April. And you'll find us 3rd, which is, good enough for considering I've done nothing. I'm not quite sure where we're supposed to finish. Where were we expected to finish? 5th, so that's above where we were expected. Fully on autopilot. We didn't even manage anything. And usually, you know, I'm better than the assistants. You would be as well, because I think the AI has trouble sometimes. But yep, the top 32 goals and 24 goals. So we got no problem scoring goals there. But Hibernian 3rd. Who else we got? All right, we went to Kashmir FC in India. Played 5. 12. I don't know how this league system works, but I did the same again. Oh, we lost 1. That's not cool. I thought we went all the way through, but still, you know, again, no signings, no changes. Again, 6-0 win there. We were smashing goals in all over the place, all over the planet. And here we are back in Blighty, Dulwich Hamlet. I'm not quite sure where we're supposed to finish, but we're top of the league. We're supposed to finish 17th. No signings, no tactics done, I don't think. No tactics, no transfers done. No personnel changes. I picked a team and went on a holiday. 31st of December is usually when I come back. And there we are, 1st. And what's the record, actually? Let's just check. It's unbeaten. 14 matches unbeaten. Expected to finish 17th. So, you know, it's the same as it was last year, if not stronger, because I think I had to work a bit harder in the games to get last year's work in. But there it is. It's up and running. It's on the Steam Workshop, and you can put it on your own websites if you get this far. Thanks very much for that. Just make sure the video and a link to my Patreon. And thank you very much to the excuse me, thank you very much to the patrons for your support, because with your support I'm able to play this at 4 o'clock in the morning and justify it to the wife, because, you know, time is precious when you're in a marriage, so I have to justify every second I have on Football Manager. So thank you very much for that. And if you want to see more Football Manager content, visit the Patreon down below. There is a link there, and consider pledging your support. If you do use this, please leave a like and a subscribe on the YouTube channel. Visit me on the Twitch, and you can catch me live streaming Football Manager at any time, really. You know, I don't really have a set schedule currently. But yeah, there it is. And there will be more systems like this to come, hopefully in a completely different style and not utilizing the same issues in the match engine to our advantage. Thank you very much for watching. I shall see you next time.